97% of men no longer want to date or marry women. Today's video comes from the China Unvarnished channel. Their channel will be linked in the description of the video so that you can go check them out and support them. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand the implications of most men no longer wanting to date women. And don't forget to follow us on Rumble. Our Rumble is linked in the description of the video so that you can go check us out and support us over there because you never know what can happen on this platform. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video after a word from Angry's Crypto Academy.
Matchmaking market has become so competitive to the point of being overwhelming. This woman, who was once a top student and a campus beauty, had many suitors when she was in school. But now at 37 years old, she has never been in a relationship. When she talks about the reasons, she says,
其实你看我这个学制26岁毕业，然后刚毕业期1-2年，我们医学生在医院的时间比较多，值班嘛，然后呢再晃悠晃悠熟悉熟悉，过了我们该轮转的一个时间，大概也就快30岁了嘛。
Her name is Huang Yan, and she lives in Beijing. She works as an attending physician at a top-tier hospital. She has a house, a car, is beautiful, and highly capable. She has a high income and a gentle personality. She originally didn't worry about finding a spouse, but because she had everything, she began to focus more on intangible qualities, such as feelings, temperament, and personality. These intangible things made her at 37, still as innocent as an 18-year-old girl at heart. But looking at her friends, who were once all single like her, now married with children, she was forced to wake up from her dreamy world and enter the matchmaking market. However, despite her excellence in the vast matchmaking pool, she found herself in a passive position.
年龄比你小的医生见得多吗？
不多，主要是小的一般都不见我，一般他们会挑更小的。
She even mentions that she would consider dating a divorced man with children.
离异的可以，他有孩有离异，能吸引到我，哇，那他很有本事呀，我还挺想找老司机的。
Haiyan, a matchmaker with 7 years of experience, arranged a date for her with a man from Beijing. His name is Han Tianyu, a man who had been through a failed marriage. He works in sports biochemistry research. Holding a doctoral degree, he had previously represented China's national swimming and figure skating teams at the Beijing Winter Olympics. Such an outstanding man had a failed marriage. According to him, it started with appearances but ended due to mismatched values. Now, at 34, he views marriage differently. He just wants a peaceful and warm family.
一个父亲带着他的女儿在那边玩，然后小女孩特别可爱，喊着 daddy 从远处一路小跑冲过去，然后扑到他爸爸怀里的时候，我天，不行，我受不了这种场面，就感觉就太让人羡慕了。
The matchmaker believes that based on their academic backgrounds, hobbies, careers, and age, they were highly compatible. So, she arranged for them to meet at a tennis court. Under the night sky, they exchanged smiles, one radiant, the
Now, one of the things that really concerns me with this story a bit is the fact that this guy wants to have children. This is why this world is a strange world. He is a biochemistry researcher or something like that. But he has a doctorate in these studies, and you don't have to have a PhD to know that you should not try to get into a relationship with a 37-year-old woman if you want to have children. This is absolute nonsense. So this is a man who doesn't have kids. He's only 34 years old. He's one of the most accomplished, hands down, one of the most accomplished researchers or people in his field in China. I mean, hell, when you're going to the Olympics at that level, no, you're extremely accomplished. And his dream is to have children, and yet he's messing around with a 37-year-old woman. And it's like, it just shows you, like, no matter how much knowledge you have, you'll be messed up. You can get messed up real easily. You can make dumb decisions very easily. This is the reason why you need Uncle Angry. This is the reason why people need Angry Sama to encourage, to enlighten them. Like, listen, little bro, what are you doing, little bro? This is absolute nonsense, little bro. She's 37 years old. After the age of 35, that's a geriatric pregnancy. In other words, that's an old woman trying to have a pregnancy. It's not that she is an old woman in the sense that she's a very old woman, like a 60 or 70-year-old woman, but it is deemed a geriatric and unsafe pregnancy after 35, and you're out here trying to get into a relationship with this individual. To make matters worse, it evidently this woman is also, I don't know if it's true, but honestly, because like honestly, I want to lean towards it not being true, that a lot of women are just making it up, or she did stuff. But they're saying that she's also a she's never been physically intimate with anyone by the age of 37. If at 37 years old, let me explain how this works with women, okay? Because most men, they don't want to listen to Uncle Angry until it's too late. Women need and desire physical intimacy more than men. Notice I put the word need. They need it more than men. Most of you guys are going to say, Angry, you're wrong about this, blah blah blah. It's like you take pride in being, you take pride in trying to say like you're a degenerate. Listen, women need it more than men. They desire it more than men. The only reason why it doesn't seem that way is because they have so many options, and they're doing it on the side. And they're like, a woman will go and hook up with 3 or 4 guys in the same week and say that it doesn't count because she was not serious about being in relationships with them. So being physically intimate with these men doesn't count. There are women who work as ladies of the night, and they say that all the different dudes that they are intimate with don't count. So it doesn't, so it's not, so they're not cheating on their boyfriends or the men that they're with. This is how they operate. This is how women think. Okay. So you're dealing with this woman who's 37 years old, and she hasn't been physically intimate. And you hear about these women all the time. There's only a couple of possibilities. Either she's lying, which is the most likely scenario. All right. Or there's some other things, or a combination of other things. She may have had some form of intimacy, but it may not have gone all the way. And even then, again, I don't believe it. But either she's lying about never being physically intimate with someone, or she has some issues, psychological, physiological, or she prefers to do it herself. So for example, there's a lot of women who they prefer to do it themselves, and she may have an addiction to self-gratification. I'm telling you the truth on that. That's one very big possibility. She may also have some psychological or physiological issues that's preventing her from desiring physical intimacy. That's another very, very big issue right there. Okay. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a one. No, 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 no. Women desire it more than men do. So there's a big problem there. And she's a physician. She has to, this is where things get frightening. She has to know, as a grown woman, as an adult who works in medicine, that that's not normal. And to act like, but the thing is, like they've said it, like she has like this, she's as naive as an 18-year-old, and to be clear, most 18-year-olds are not that naive because they're out there in the streets these days before 18, but she's basically very naive. And unfortunately, because of what she's done and the choices that she's made, it's going to be very difficult for her to have a relationship with anyone. It'd be an extremely miserable marriage that anyone would get into with her because of how she is. Because like there's the one possibility that she's lying about never being intimate with someone, and then there's the other possibility that there's something wrong with her. She really has never been with anyone, and there's something wrong with her, absolutely. And again, she might just have an addiction to self gratification, and there's that. And then there's also like she's had men in her life, so she's had guy friends who've been hovering around her, other doctors or people in the vicinity, and like they wanted to be in a relationship with her, but she basically friend zoned them. So there's all these possibilities, but don't ever take anything at surface value, at face value, especially when it comes to women. There's always more to the story. There's always things that you do not know. She's not forget about her title as being a doctor. She's a human being, and at the end of the day, there's something going on there. And at 37 now, she's like, oh, I want to go start a family. Come on, bro. Guys, I keep on telling you, we're like, hard times are not coming. They are now here. The promised winter has arrived. Kevin Samuels warned women for years that ladies' winter is coming, and now it's here. ATMs are going to stop working. Banks are going to chain the doors. The only way that you're going to be able to protect your wealth and safeguard your future is going to be with crypto. Angry's Crypto Academy will literally teach you how to buy, sell, trade, and invest in crypto. It will tell you exactly which coins will mint you millionaires and how to spot potential coins to invest in. So don't miss out. The Academy is linked in the description of the video if you want to check that out.
As they volleyed back and forth, they developed a mutual attraction. Afterward, they went for dinner together. At the dinner table, Han Tianyu took the initiative to bring up the topic of arranged marriages.
那个海燕老师跟我简单介绍了一下你，然后他说您之前没谈过恋爱，然后我之前离过婚，您知道吧？
知道呀。
介意吗？
我觉得是人比较重要。
When Huang Yan didn't continue the topic, Han Tianyu felt unsure about how to proceed.
因为我不知道从女生的观点是看待这个事儿。
Without realizing his intent, Huang Yan simply replied without delving deeper, ending the conversation. The awkward silence led them to finish the date. On their way back, the matchmaker asked Han Tianyu about his opinion on the date. He felt that when he brought up his divorce, Huang Yan didn't seem interested in asking more about it, which led him to think she wasn't interested in him. Moreover, they couldn't engage in deep conversation, so he didn't think there was a need to pursue it further. On the other hand, Huang Yan, when asked the same question by the show's production team, responded more positively.
他现在对你有吸引力。
还行，我觉得还可以。
So why didn't she delve deeper into the topic of his divorce? Huang Yan said she hadn't realized this and didn't know what to talk about with him. Furthermore, she felt that if he wanted to talk, there was no need for her to ask.
You know, one of the really frightening things, I feel sorry for this woman a little bit. She is going to suffer so much in life now going forward because of her poor decisions. Okay? Because it's highly unlikely she's going to become a wife or a mother. Maybe God will, if she's a decent person in her heart and she learns how to change but there's so many problems here. There are so many problems and there are so many red flags with her. One of the things to point out is that she has horrible communication skills. She has very, very poor communication skills. She does not know how to read others. She does not know how to effectively read the room, read the situation. She asks questions, show interest. It's very, very bad. And they're right about it. Like, she is just as bad as, like, she's worse, honestly, than a lot of younger people, like people much younger than her, younger than 18. And a lot of that probably has to do with the way that she was raised. Her parents, guiding her towards the path of medical school and so forth. She looks like a girl. She looks like someone that you would see. The look on her face is like almost like a naive, stupid look that you would see from a child. And she basically spent most of her life in academia or most of her life in medicine. And as a result of that, she does not know how to properly interact with others, how to be an adult, how to talk to others, how to have relationships. Like, this is like, I mean, it's really, really bad. These are things that you kind of got out of the way by the time you were a teenager. She didn't do any of these things. Hell, in middle school or high school, so my guess is that she was so focused on her education. Her father and her parents probably encouraged her to, like, not focus on boys, not to do any of these things. And the irony now is that with the boomers, because her parents are undoubtedly boomers, they're going to basically tell her to stop being too picky and settle for anyone, and it's going to be very, very hard because, think about her interest as well. She probably doesn't even have a lot of great interest. She was out there not really focusing on developing herself, developing proper hobbies or interests. So what the hell are you going to talk about? You can't even talk about, like, a television show. You can't talk about video games. You can't talk, it's hard. There's nothing really to talk about with this person, and here she is dating a researcher. And even then, this dude is like, I feel bad for him because he's like trying with her. She has like no real personality because she has not had to work on herself for most of her life. And now she's pushing 40 years old. And it's like, this poor woman, I don't even want to see her break down into tears. I don't want to, it's going to be hard. I know many of you are like, no, she needs the reality, Angry. I feel sorry for her, even though I know like I need to be careful. I have, you know, I have I have empathetic tendencies. Now, of course, I'm well aware it could all be BS and there's things missing from it. But I look at her and she looks like one naive little duckling. She looks like a real naive little duckling. Of course, she has female nature. Of course, she's expecting more than she really should be. But my gosh, she is so naive. Like, I feel like it's like putting a child out there in the world. Like, she can be taken advantage of so easily as well. She absolutely could be. And then at the same time, she is going to repel a lot of people because she does not know how to communicate or to properly empathize with others and to understand what others are feeling. You know, she does not know how to even converse and take cues. This poor duckling, this poor little duckling. Oh my gosh.
Later, when prompted by the show's production team, Huang Yan tried to message him to greet him, only to find that he hadn't approved her friend request.
他没验证我。Game over.
Regarding the failed matchmaking, her parents could only express helplessness. Later, the matchmaker visited Huang Yan's family for an in-depth conversation. When asked why she had stayed single, her father said that since Huang Yan was in middle school, he intentionally kept a distance from her to teach her the difference between men and women. This might be one of the reasons for Huang Yan's single status. She had very little interaction with boys growing up, so her socializing with them was naturally limited.
I want you guys to look at her very, very carefully. Like, just have a look at her face, and you can see she looks extremely naive. She still dresses like a child. She does not, the way that she dresses is not like a grown woman. It's like something you might see from, it's like something you might see or expect from, I'm trying to look for from a student, you know, but she does not carry herself like a woman. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, there's no real personality. There's no her upkeep. She's not a bad looking person, but she's not taking proper care of herself. And her appearance has just never been one of her key things. Like, she dresses. This is something that you might accept in medicine, that you would accept in academia, but this is not how you go on a date with a person. And her father is. You can tell that her father is a big part of this because a lot of these men, they're like, oh, not my princess. My princess is going to be this and this and this. And I'm going to raise her to do all of these things and touch the sky. So, bro, you raised her this way. And now she's old. She's getting old. She can't find a relationship. And you're desperate to push her off on any man that will take her. Right? It's like, how crazy do you have to be as a person? You raised her this way. You deliberately started distancing her from men when she was very young, boys. And as a result of this, she's now messed up, and she psychologically cannot survive in the world without her parents. And her parents are old, like her. They're really, really old. Like, my parents are like pushing 70. My father might be about 70 now, and yeah, he'll be 70 this year. And it's like her parents are older. Her parents are older than my boomer parents. You can just look at her parents and you can see that they're way older. Like, these people look like they're well into their 70s. And they can't even, father looks much older even. And they can't keep on subsidizing her for the rest of her life. She's going to need someone to be there with her. She's also so naive. You can tell she looks aloof and lacks a lot of common sense, which is extremely problematic, especially for someone her age. I don't know. I really don't know. They messed this girl up so badly, and there are going to be extraordinary consequences. It's so funny. I keep on telling you about the boomers. The boomers were absolutely the worst generation. They destroyed this world. They destroyed our society. And now and then they try to play it off like they're not, like it wasn't them. Don't blame them for it. I don't know. I don't know what to say. These are a bunch of bad apples. I've told you about the boomers. And they try to silence us as quickly as they possibly can. Like, you know, I showed you a comment. I made a video where I discussed the boomers and how they messed up society. And one of them, Robert, he reaches out and says, I've got to correct you, Angry. The people who have wrecked our country are the money changers, the bankers, the boomers, which I am one, who lived through the best years this country had to offer. So he admits right off the bat that he lived through, him and his generation lived through the absolute best years that the country had to offer. He then goes on to say, but the struggles were very real. Guys, how awful do you have to be to admit that you had it the very best, you lived through the best of times that were offered, but you struggled? These people are crazy. These people are crazy. They are crazy beyond crazy. My story will prove your claim wrong, and upon further investigation, you'll come to understand that those with dual citizenship are at the core of all the deceptive corruption and bribery in our land. Okay, so yeah, it's Elon Musk. Guys, Elon is to blame. Dodge is to blame. So the South African that came to America has built, $1 trillion industry because of Elon. It's not just Tesla, but other companies that have now begun transitioning to building electric vehicles. Not saying that every car should be replaced by electric, but this person who now built our entire space industry, because we no longer have a space industry of our own. NASA is crap. It's a crap organization that should be shut down. All right. So we're entirely reliable. Like, we don't have any other industry. It's only SpaceX. That's it. Okay. The guy that bought out Twitter, renamed it to X, and has given us a platform for freedom of speech once again. Of course, there are some issues that happen over there, but compared to everything else, it's the only place where you can have any semblance of freedom of speech. He's the bad guy. Elon's the bad guy. So, guys, and notice what he says. He's not talking about people who come into the country illegally. No. Those aren't the problem. So it's not the migrants. It's not 30 million people who crossed over without, that shouldn't have done so. No, it's Elon Musk. It's Elon Musk. People with dual citizenship like Elon. Oh my gosh. You guys, it's Dodge. It's Dodge, all right? That are just, going around destroying USAID. All right, there's a procedure, there's a process, and these are and taking down the education system, the beautiful U.S. education system that the boomers built for us. Anyone see the corruption? So he blames dual citizenship at the core of all the deceptive corruption and bribery in our land. They don't like us and this country. They control the currency at the moment, but this fiat fiasco is coming to an end. You're the ones, the boomers. You notice what the boomers do. They basically invested all of their money into things that were tangible, like real estate and stocks, and they kept very little cash. And when they did have cash, they spent it rapidly. The reason why they spent it rapidly is because they knew that the value of it was continually depreciating. So there was no point in ever holding large amounts of cash. So in cases where they had cash on hand and it wasn't like, it didn't make sense to invest it, they just turned around and blew it on things like Carnival cruises and vacations all over the world. This is how these people operated. He goes on to say they control the currency at the moment, but this fiat fiasco is coming to an end. Your crypto plan is spot on. Check out some PMs too. Peace. In other words, I told you guys, we're going to see the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of the world because ETFs are coming. Many of you don't understand ETFs. Go over to Angry's Crypto Academy. I talk constantly about the ETFs. Crypto ETFs are coming. Bitcoin ETFs are coming. Ethereum ETFs are coming. An ETF for my favorite coin is coming. This is going to result in the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of the world. With ETFs, specifically spot ETFs, it allows people, and ETFs are basically traded on the stock exchange, and they contain a specific asset or certain assets. So let's say a Bitcoin ETF would contain Bitcoin, and it would allow people, boomers, to go and buy Bitcoin without having to go over to cryptocurrency exchanges. And it would allow them to get exposure to Bitcoin without having to go over to cryptocurrency exchanges and get it themselves. So it's a lot easier to do. And you don't have to do things like and they're basically regulated by the United States government. All right. With these spot ETFs, also they have to hold the equivalent amount of the asset that that's within the ETF. So, for example, if someone is buying like an ETF, and it's supposed to be, let's say, 10 shares, like $100 of Bitcoin, they actually have to have that amount of that crypto on hand. So now all of these boomers who are, because they hold 80% of the stock market. So when when the economy begins to crash and crumble, it is happening. It was hidden from us, and they need to move their money from somewhere. Like all of these like legacy companies that are going to go under, what they're going to do is begin rushing over to crypto, but they're not too bright. They're not very good with technology. So ETFs are going to allow them to easily get access, exposure to Bitcoin, exposure to these things. And of course, the companies that hold these ETFs, if they want to issue more shares or greater shares within these ETFs, they're going to have to go out and buy more crypto later on, and no one's going to be selling. So they're going to have to they're going to have to pay large amounts for access to our coins, or pay us interest just to have custody of said coins. This is the reason why I keep on telling everyone to get into crypto as quickly as you can, because the markets are going to skyrocket. All right. The people who invest right now, and I tell you what coins to invest in, will never have to work another day in their lives. All right. So many of my students, like that's like, they're like, I'm not selling my coins. Like, all right, even a few coins, even specific coins, all right. You will not have to work again. You will live off the interest from your coins. You're like, interest, because institutions, banks are going to pay you just to have custody of your coins so that they can do business. All right. Bank of America is going to pay you just to hold a portion of your Bitcoin, interest on that, just so that they can do crypto lending, and they can what do you call it? And they can operate their services. All right. It's not a game. It's 100% not a game. All right. So this is where you need to be right now. Modern women are going to heavily get left out of crypto because of its complexity and their fear of investing, their fear of investing and taking risk. It doesn't mean that they'll never come. A lot of women are going to start to jump in with the ETFs. They're going to start to jump in as the market skyrocket. Women are not dumb. Women can do a lot of things. There's many really very impressive and intelligent women out there. I'm not questioning the intelligence of women, but I will say that when it comes to things like crypto, when it comes to technology, you'll find typically more men in these fields. When it comes to investing, you'll find significantly more men who are willing to invest. And women, on the other hand, women have so many issues going on right now. Like, I mean, I showed you guys like I showed you guys a meme. I showed you guys a meme, and I think the meme was pretty damn funny. And the meme, it basically reflected kind of like, where we are heading right now. I mean, like, as men are choosing not to marry, not to date, not to have children, not to have relationships. Instead, they're focusing on themselves, the relationship with God. I showed you where things are headed. I posted a meme to the over on the post section. It was basically before Angry's Crypto Academy, after Angry's Crypto Academy, dinner with candles before Angry's Crypto Academy, some guy losing his money, spending all of his money, and on some woman who doesn't really appreciate it. After Angry's Crypto, with candles, and then after Angry's Crypto Academy, dinner with candles after Angry's Crypto Academy, basically he's eating from a container. Looks like he's eating like some ramen noodles, and he's he's looking at candlestick patterns on an exchange as he's trading crypto. And I've told you guys, you can basically make hundreds of dollars a day working only an hour a day trading crypto. We teach you in the academy how to do this. We teach you how to trade cryptocurrency over in the academy. We have a blueprint called the crypto day trading for dummies blueprint, and that's available to bootcamp members. We teach you how to day trade crypto, and this is an important skill, survival skill that everyone should actually be learning. But I mean, because when the economy falls out, it's already terrible. This is going to be one of the only ways that people will be able to survive. We actually have an encore sale going on in the academy right now. Our Super Bowl sale was extremely well received. So we have an encore sale going on. It's going on for 24 hours. So Well, actually, at the time of releasing this video, it's less than 24 hours. It ends today. It ends on February 11th. Ends February 11th, and yeah, head over there, try to get it, try to get in. If you missed the Super Bowl sale, go over to Angry's Crypto Academy. You can still get 75% off everything. We've never had a sale this large before in the Academy. Everything is 75% off right now. Annual memberships, monthly memberships, boot camp membership. You want to get the boot camp membership, and you're not going to find anywhere where you're going to be able to get this type of affordability and learn crypto. And if you have any issues, you'll have someone you can turn to and ask questions to. Oh my gosh, I sent my crypto to the wrong wallet. What do I do? How do I recover it? And you've got Angry Guy to hold your hand, and an entire community as well that's learning and that knows quite a bit about crypto, and that's going to be there for you as well. It's an incredible space. You can talk among yourself. You can talk crap. That's what a lot of people are doing. It's very, very diverse over there. We have everyone of every ethnicity, every background. Everyone's just having a good time. Everyone's just having a good time. So, our chat is lit. You can create your own threads. Definitely have to go and check that out. Ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom. It's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional, it's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now. I mean, guys, you have a choice. You could be the guy at the top, or you could be the guy at the bottom, wasting all of your money for for dinners with someone who doesn't even like you. Those are your candlesticks. Or you can be the guy at the bottom, trading crypto and observing candlestick patterns as you get that money. Who do you want to be? Which one of these guys do you want to be? Angry's Crypto Academy, y'all.
Interaction with boys growing up, so her socializing with them was naturally limited. Her father also reminisced about her past.
最早的时候，可能我们要求太高了。过去人家找我不同意，现在再找的话，人家都有对象了。
After saying this, her father was filled with regret. Huang Yan's close friend, when talking about her experiences, could only say one thing.
黄，你单身活该啊！
She was once a campus beauty and never lacked suitors. However, due to academic pressure and her complete insensitivity to relationships at the time, she never dated anyone. She always felt that she had no common topics to discuss with men and couldn't engage in deeper conversations, which led to her remaining single until now.
So her close friend basically says it's all her fault and she did it to herself. Good for you, Sarah. Good for you.
What makes her best friend feel even more regretful is that there was once a highly compatible man who strongly pursued her. However, Huang Yan felt that such a relationship was a waste of time, and in the end, they never got together. When talking about this relationship, perhaps deep down, Huang Yan does have some regrets.
我觉得他还不错，而且我觉得他很有家庭的责任感，那也是人生中的遗憾嘛。
However, there is no remedy for regret in life. When fate comes knocking, instead of doubting whether it is real, why not take a bold step forward to get closer and give it a try?
What really will end up happening is she will end up breaking down, and this is what happens. Like when reality hits them, like she's refusing to accept reality right now, the situation that she's in. She is 37 years old. She is pushing 40. Her chances of having children have gone down significantly. It's 70% of women who try to get pregnant after the age of 35 fail. All right. And modern women are like, okay, but 30% still get pregnant. So there's hope. The 30% that still get pregnant are usually women who've already had children. If a woman has already had children, then it raises her chances of having children at later points in her life. But if a woman has never had children after the age of 35, the chances are extremely unlikely. This poor woman, she's living in her own delusion. And even her friends cannot snap her out of said delusion. And her father is now filled with regret because he's heavily responsible for this. And it's like, this is sad with modern men. This is what the baby boomers did. They destroyed the lives of their daughters, and now they want to pawn their daughters off to men in society. And they'll start talking crap about men, like men don't want to be men anymore. You're just a bunch of little boys. I don't want your daughter, sir. I've got my own problems. This is not how it's supposed to be. Bro, you guys destroyed the nuclear family. You're trying to lecture me about right and wrong and about being kind and being a man. You destroyed the nuclear family. You threw your kids out when they turned 18 or even before that. And many of us didn't want to even stay with you anyway. We wanted to leave. But you destroyed the nuclear family. And now you're talking about traditionalism because you can't take care of your daughters anymore. And you want some man to come along and subsidize them. Get the heck out of there. And not only subsidize them, but also likely contribute to your well-being? I don't think so.
Maybe then, love will come naturally. If the door of fate has not yet opened for you, there is no need for self-doubt, anxiety, or self-denial. Believe that Lao, the matchmaking god, has never been lazy. He has just been secretly looking for someone who is truly suitable for you. A good relationship is worth the wait.
Matchmaking god? Oh my gosh.
Believe that there will be someone who remains unwaveringly devoted to you. He will be waiting for you at the end of time, loving you in secret even before you meet.
Huang Yan's story is perhaps a reflection of many highly educated women. In their youth, they were taught to establish a career first before starting a family. They worked hard, fought their way forward, and reached the pinnacle of success. But when they finally looked back, they realized that the matchmaking market had long turned into an unfair game. Young women are prioritized, and high-quality men prefer to secure their choice early. And as for them, no matter how outstanding or independent they are, once they reach a certain age, they can only passively wait, be defined by the matchmaking market, and be educated by reality. Some might say she deserves it, that she set her standards too high in her youth, and now that she has been eliminated by the market, she has no one to blame but herself. But then again, is this really just a matter of individual choices? Why is it that men can still choose younger partners once they have established their careers, while women, once they miss the optimal marriage window, can only passively accept whatever conditions they are given? What's even more ironic is that when Huang Yan finally felt ready to embrace love, willing to try, willing to compromise, even willing to accept divorced men, the market still didn't give her a chance. She thought that mature men would understand her lack of initiative. But the reality is, even when she lowers her standards for love, no one is willing to give her the right to choose again. Is this unfair? Or was fairness never real to begin with? What do you think? Do you believe Huang Yan's single status is a result of the times? Or is it her own fault? Feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel.
It's their own damn fault, guys. 97% of men no longer want to date or marry women, and they did it to themselves. They said, men, we don't want you. Men, we don't need you. We'd rather the bear, but now they don't want to, accept their fate and go live with Yogi and Boo Boo in the woods. Let me know your thoughts about everything we discussed here today, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Men walking away, and cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.